Well, good morning, fine people. Happy Tuesday. Packers have the day off. I'm Aaron Negler coming to you from Cheesehead TV live here across all the social platforms. Wishing you a happy Tuesday wherever you are, Packers fans worldwide. We've had a day now or plus to shake off the horribleness of that game on Sunday. Still lingering though, if I'm being honest. But good to see everybody in the comments section. Robert. First on Facebook, maybe. Jennifer, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday, Jennifer. Sorry the Packers couldn't give you a better present, but thanks for joining us here on Cheesehead TV. Lingering. What's up, Corey Banky? Oh, boy, Corey Banky in the house for Packers Daily. This is great, though, because he can't talk back to me, so I can say whatever I want. He's got to wait till tomorrow night for Packer Transplants at 5 p.m. Eastern right here on Cheesehead TV. AJ Green trade? No, Eduardo. No, AJ Green is old and broken, man. You don't be trading for that. Now, John Ross, who just broke this morning, is looking for a trade. That's a maybe. Again, I doubt it. I doubt the Packers put any kind of significant capital on the table for an outside asset, but you never know. They were in talks last year with the Jets for Robert Anderson, so maybe they give the Bengals a call about Ross. That said, that's not really the type of wide receiver the Packers have favored in the past. Pretty different body type. Obviously, he's a speedster. You like that, but I don't think so. The chat is extra nerdy. I don't know how you get extra nerdy, but cool. Do you think Pettin will be replaced during the season or after? Could be neither, Josh. A lot of ball game left. Lots to play out. I mean, I did ask Coach about it, his defense yesterday, and I thought, Coach answered it as well as he could. A lot of coach speak, which is, of course, to be expected. But, I mean, I think he's got a real issue there. This is a defense that kept them in games and was successful at times last year by doing certain things well, and this year it is doing none of those things well. Whether it's taking the ball away, sacking the quarterback, or playing really great red zone defense. Those are three things that helped them last year that are just not materializing this year. In the first 4 weeks, it didn't matter because the Packers were scoring 40 or 30 points a game, which is fine. It's a lot easier to play defense when you're scoring 30 to 40 points a game. You score 10 points, things start to get noticed. Walter, thank you for the super chat. How can we get tougher and more physical? I mean, good luck. You got to draft physical guys. It's not something that's going to suddenly materialize because of something you do in practice. It's not like you can hit, Your defense is your defense. And to a point, yes, they can get a little bit more, quote unquote, aggressive. They can play up in the box a little bit more, play some more pressure, calls, blah, blah, blah. But your guys are your guys. Now, that said, I don't think they need 10 Bernardo Harrises out there, or 11, as the case may be. But I do think, they need an attitude adjustment. They are insanely passive, and it drives me insane. Craig, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for asking Coach about playing off 5 to 12 yards on 3rd and 2. Do you see him talking to Pettin about this going forward? Not really. I mean, it's their defense, and it's been called this way through how many victories? I mean, it's bugged me in the victories just as much as it's bugged me in the losses. It's just now it was a opportune time because I thought the Bucs presented a really good kind of counterpoint to this is what an aggressive, mugging defense looks like. And yes, sometimes you're going to get calls, but I don't care about calls. I don't care about the 10, 5 yards I'm going to give up if they're, consistently beating you other ways, other downs. But I don't see a major, come to Jesus meeting between LaFleur and Pettin. He kept Pettin. That, the come to Jesus was after the NFC Championship game. They undoubtedly spoke about whatever philosophical shift they were going to have to make, probably during camp, the offseason, when Brian Gutekunst supplied little to no reinforcements. I mean, it was always going to be coming down to Pettin. And so far, he has 100% not answered the bell. And I don't know what LaFleur could possibly say to change anything. That said, who knows? Maybe we come out on Sunday against the Texans and we see a whole new mindset. I'm not holding my breath, though. Don't want to miss any super chats. Here we go. Fire capers. Oh, chuck it. Thanks for the super chat. Would you move Z inside more than Pettin has been? Do you think Coach Pettin didn't blitz much against Tampa because King was out? He moved. Z was inside quite a bit against Tampa. It just wasn't effective. I thought Tampa had a really good plan for it. And their offensive line played really well. The other question being, did not blitz much against Tampa Bay because King was out? I can't say for certain one way or the other, but I didn't notice a monster shift in his blitz rate one way or the other. He hasn't blitzed much, regardless of whether King is. When King's been in there, he hasn't blitzed a whole lot. So I don't think King not being there or being there played too much into it. I mean, I'm sure he's got to adjust somewhat because King is a much better player than Josh Jackson, but I don't think it's a monster change philosophically for the game plan. Nicholas, thank you for the super chat. Do you think screenplays could have saved us? I don't know about saved. I mean, I was surprised they didn't get to the traditional screen game or even a draw play here or there or an angle route, something to try and beat the pressure. But it was clear Matt was searching, and that's where his inexperience as a play caller comes in, where you're really kind of trying to find stuff. And the whole reason I asked about the tempo thing at the beginning of the press conference yesterday, because I wanted to give him an opportunity to say, as he often does, that it's on him. Because I do think, you saw Rodgers getting the play call later as the game went on, and they broke the huddle later to took that delay a game. And I do think that's because Matt's on the sideline trying to figure out what the fuck to call. And that's not a knock on Matt. He's still very early in his tenure calling plays, especially in the heat of a moment in a game where you're getting your ass kicked and nothing's working on offense. I think they gained 45 yards after that second interception. 45 yards for a team that has been walking up and down all, season long up to that point. So I don't doubt it was frustrating. I don't doubt he was searching for stuff, but there are some traditional things like a traditional, just a screen, not a bubble screen, not anything too crazy, just to invite the rush up and go. Now, my hunch is, and I think, if you were to put him on truth serum and say, why didn't you do this? I think he would say, well, look at those linebackers. I mean, it's one thing to say, okay, we're going to invite the rush. But if any one of those guys, if either of those linebackers are left in man, they're going to suss it out and they're going to go tackle the dude. I mean, unless you can miraculously get an offensive lineman to get him in space, which, considering the troubles they had in the run game in that regard, I think it would be highly unlikely. These guys are too fast, too sideline to sideline fast. And I think screen game, while good in theory, it probably would have been blown up, but I would have liked to have seen it attempted at least. I'm with you there. Oh, what else we got? Thanks, Ruben. Thanks for the super chat. I think we should sign Za'Darius. I mean, I don't think it could hurt at this point. Dustin, thank you for the super chat. Did Kevin King's stock go up on Sunday? I don't know about that. I think they didn't find out anything they didn't already know. Josh Jackson is who he is, and Kevin's a pretty damn good player. And that's not to knock Josh, because I thought Josh actually had a decent game overall. He did get that horrible pass interference penalty. He was grabbing guys at times, which is a bad habit he certainly has not gotten rid of. But he stuck his nose in there in the run game. He had some nice coverage plays as well. Don't be coming out of this game knocking Josh. That's all I'm going to say, because I thought he played his ass off. He just had that one really unfortunate penalty. How about them Cowboys, Mike McCarthy? Aaron, I'll just say this about McCarthy. All right, yes, it's fun to make fun of him and watch the Cowboys implode. I fucking hate the Cowboys as much as the next guy. But all these people saying this is all on Mike McCarthy have no idea what they're talking about. He is literally playing with a MASH unit. And as a horrible defense, much of that due to the fact, and that's before all the injuries set in on the defensive side, and a lot of the defensive kind of malaise and problems are because they paid all these guys on offense and allowed all these defenders to walk. And then the defense got hurt. So it's like, yes, Mike is probably swimming a little bit right now and looks like a buffoon there kicking a field goal down 21 points or whatever. I understand it. Pile on. Have a great time. But this was a losing hand from, pretty much the jump here for Mike in year one in Dallas. Interested to see how it progresses and how patient Jerry Jones is with the guy. But I would just try. I know it's the internet and we don't do this here, but try to put it in a little context. That's all. That's all I'll say about that. Are Packers buyers at the deadline? I doubt it. It's not in their nature, but you never know. Again, I said this earlier in the week. or maybe last week, if they want to be buyers and they want to make a move, they got to make those calls now. And it's going to take at least 6 days to get a guy in the door. Someone like Ross would be interesting. He's on the last year of his deal. So are you renting a guy for probably 8 games, maybe? Once he gets up to speed, 7, maybe? I don't know. I mean, it's cheap labor. There's no doubt about it. But what's the draft asset you're giving up? Again, I tend to doubt it. Hasn't seemed to have been Brian's MO, but can't count it out. Trade for Quentin Williams, I can dream. I think that's going to cost a little bit more than Brian's willing to give up. So excited to see QB1 on the McAfee show today. Yep, it'll be fun. No doubt about it. If there is a bubble, what city do you think is best suited? I thought Amy Trask nailed it with her piece at The Athletic about Los Angeles being the perfect fit. I think it does make sense. Alden, thank you so much for subbing, buddy. Thank you for subbing. Hey, yeah, people, hit like, hit subscribe. Come on, people. Packers' attitude toward defense is a franchise problem, says Jimmy. That's interesting. That's a can of worms I'm willing to open. It is interesting that they do shy away from a certain type of player. They shy away from guys who maybe take it to the echo of the whistle, guys who are heat-seeking missiles on defense, who are not afraid to hit, guys who are, quote-unquote, more physical. And I do think that has kind of been the way pretty much since Ron came on board. I mean, Ron did bring in some characters and some hard hitters and what have you. And certainly Ted brought in a couple as well. But for the most part, they have kind of preferred a certain type of player, a guy who is eats, sleeps, breathes football, does it the right way, but then maybe isn't, that play to the end of the whistle kind of guy. And it does seem to, and this is just anecdotal looking at it through decades and don't get all worked up, but it does seem to kind of lack a bite, right? A lack of aggressiveness. And that's not to say that a guy like Za'Darius Smith isn't like terrifying, because he is. Or that, someone like Rashawn Gary can't strike fear into the hearts of men, like I understand that the physical nature is there and these guys certainly can produce in the NFL. You've certainly seen it happened last year. It's not happening this year. But yeah, the mentality on the defensive side of the ball has seemingly been unchanged for literally decades. And you've seen it possibly be able to manifest itself into a pretty damn good defense, whether that's, the 2014 defense kind of after the bye week, or that's 2010. There have been moments of quote unquote good defenses, good defensive play. But for the most part, it's been decades of malaise on the defensive side while they're picking the guys who do it the right way. Well, maybe it's time to get a guy who does it the wrong way and who's willing to fucking blast somebody over the middle of the field and like put some fear into the opponent. I mean, for so long, the Packers defense says, God damn, how long do we have to roam this earth for the Packers to put competent defensive play on the field on a consistent basis? I'm not talking about, they got a 3 and out. Great. And then they allowed a touchdown or 2 or 3, just a consistently good defense. I'm not even asking for a top 5 defense, just a good defense. You got me going. You got me going, man. Well done. You got me going. Drives me nuts. Super sticker from Andrew. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for the super sticker. Midwestern Mary thought this was our year. So what record are we realistically looking at? Oh, hey, don't hey, Packers fans. The wheels are not coming off because of Sunday's game. It is a blip on the radar. This is still a 10 to 12, maybe even the 13 win team. Don't get it twisted. This is still a team that's going to win a boatload of games and could possibly make noise in the playoffs deeply all the way back to Tampa. So I know it's hard. I know it's embarrassing. I know it sucked. But Sunday means nothing. It changes nothing in the trajectory of this team. They've got some work to do in certain areas. There's zero question about it. They're still going to win a ton of games. Don't worry about that. Julia, why are we defending 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 2? I love that Julia in another country can see this. I don't know. I asked Matt LaFleur about it yesterday, like specifically that. And he said it's something they have to take a long, hard look at. But we'll see. A lot of season left, people. You damn right. Sam, yes, you're late. I gave John Ross a maybe here on the chat. I'll give him a maybe when I get on Twitter. Watching Aaron throw that pick jaw on the floor, right? It is a little crazy. You get so used to it not ever, ever, ever happening. And then to not only see an interception, but then a pick six. I mean, the throw is a little bit behind him, but you got to give the Bucs credit. They did the film work. You know, the corner gave Peter King a quote afterwards saying that they saw it on film that out in certain situations on 3rd down, absolutely picked his pocket, was ready for it, undercut that route. Didn't help that the ball was a little inside, but even, if that was a perfect throw, I think the DB has a chance at it. So, it's something where it's a good wake-up call. It's a good wake-up call for the entire offense because everything you've put on tape these first 4 weeks, you best believe people have been picking over it and looking at it and kind of looking at your tendencies. That is going to come to the fore more and more. You got to mix it up a little bit more. Brian, thanks for the super chat. I want to play Tampa Bay again, make them come to Lambeau. I mean, that's the dream. That is the 100% dream. I like the chances in a rematch, no doubt. Nathan, thank you for the super chat. After we drafted Love, PFF said we should have drafted Trey Lance in the 3rd round in 2021. They're now giving Lance top 10 hype. What a world. Man, just PFF, any public-facing stuff from PFF, you got to take with a grain of salt. It's entertainment, man. Yes, they provide stats and info for NFL teams, but NFL teams aren't buying their grades. They're not buying PFF forecast subscriptions. I mean, it's all fun, man. It's all good. What else we got? Aaron never took his eyes off Adams on that first pick. Larry, yeah. I mean, I get that, and I think I made note of it on the watch party, but, he's completed 1,000 passes like that where he's dropped back and there's pressure and he's looking at his number one read, whether it's Adams or no, and letting it go and completing it. I mean, lots of quarterbacks do it. Even the great ones do it. Tom Brady does that, Obviously, that doesn't help, and it'd be more of an issue if it had been a pick, say, from a safety who was dropping down because he was watching his eyes, but I don't think that, really led the corner to it at all. The corner's playing Devontae pretty much throughout. So, yeah, I get what you're saying, and you're right. And I do think it was interesting how he was locked in on Devontae, and that burned them twice. But I don't really think the eyes led to that interception. Ooh, Preston Smith is Nick Perry 2.0. Tommy. Oh, that's pretty astute. Not too dissimilar, right? Not bad, except Preston's just not hurt. Nathaniel, thank you for the super chat. What's up, Nags? What's the game plan against Houston? I mean, on offense, we'll see what happens with Tyler Ervin. It'll be interesting to see how they handle trying to get that motion going again. I loved LaFleur's plan of using Jones as the motion guy and using Jamal Williams as your back, except I thought they were going to do that to try and open up the middle of the field more, and then hand it to Jones every once in a while to try and keep him honest, etc. But that just never materialized for whatever reason. If Irvin's out again, I think we'll see more of that, but we'll see more of a commitment to Williams trying to probe the A gap. I mean, the Texas defense has not been playing well. I do think they can get after the quarterback, and I do think Aaron Rodgers should get back on track. On defense, man, I'm 1,000,000% mystified as to what they're going to try and do against Deshaun Watson. I think Watson can make him look silly pretty quickly. You want to be aggressive. You want to get up in their grill, but Watson's legs can make you pay for that real quick. This loss will help this team more than we think. Legless won. I tend to agree. I very much tend to agree. I mean, losses in October, can they come back and haunt you? Absolutely. But it's about learning from them. And as Vince Lombardi said, pick yourself up. It's not about whether you get knocked down. It's about whether you get back up. Hold on, make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Oh, Brian, thanks for the super chat. Will we ever have a physically imposing defense with speed and physicality? Yes, when my daughters have children. There we go. I don't know, man. What else we got here? What else we got? William, thanks for the super chat. Missed my super. Never mind, not the time. I don't know. I don't know. Brian, thanks for the super chat. Will this defense ever be physically imposing? When my daughter's daughters have children. There you go. Looking at our D, seems like we have some good players at all levels, but the product is less than the sum of the parts. Is that a coaching thing? Yes. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. 2020 is so bizarre that Butler gets in the Hall of Fame. God, that would be great. Come on. Put Leroy in the Hall of Fame already. Should have been in years ago. Killing me. Why didn't they use Dillon? You need brute force for teams like that, then play action after. I thought they were going to come out and try and run the ball up the A-gap, and they didn't. They tried to run outside. They tried to throw it all over the yard. It reminded me of the NFC Championship game where they had a very similarly mystifying offensive game plan. I don't know. For whatever reason, LaFleur and company seem absolutely steadfast against the idea of playing smash mouth football when it is called for. And I understand they're not that team per se, but there are certainly times when it is called for. And for whatever reason, they refuse to do it. I think Dillon, certainly they could have utilized Williams better. I don't know. I wish I knew. Grandpa Nagler is going to be amazing. Amazing. Need Z to spark this defense, be the coach on the field. I mean, I don't know about being a coach on the field, but they definitely need him to spark something. They need, if not by his play, then at least get pump guys up. I mean, there is a noticeable lack of emotion, a noticeable lack of vibe. Like, it's all fun and games to be like doing the dance when you get an interception or, score a touchdown on defense and you're doing the D train. That's great. But without a crowd, it really looks like there's a little lack of juice. And maybe it's Z, maybe it's, I don't know, Preston. I don't know or really care who it is, but someone needs to get them pumped up. Otis, thank you for the super chat. After watching Dallas last night, it's hard to understand why HaHa isn't there anymore. I feel like he would be an improvement. Maybe that's an indictment on just how bad HaHa really is. I mean, I don't know. You're probably right, but they certainly seem to move on rather quickly. Mm-hmm. Hey, Alexander didn't do too bad, in my opinion. No, he played well. I think he played really well. But again, talent's there. All three levels. It's not playing like a cohesive unit, though. Not playing aggressively at all. Williams is the better back when you need that smash mouth approach. Straight up the gut. Very much agreed. How damn good is Jair? All-pro incoming. Joe, he is on the track. And I know I saw some people quibbling about his lack of interceptions. Well, yeah, of course he doesn't get interceptions. No one's throwing at him because he's so good. As long as he stays healthy, he's got to be an all-pro. No question about it. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. Been 5 years of chats, and all I know is BJ Raji. I mean, I hear he's coming back. I don't know. We'll see. I miss Swerve. Underrated. Yeah, Matt, you ain't lying. Robin Kirksey returns soon. We'll see. It still feels like it could be a week early, but we'll see. What is this, week 7? Actually, it feels a couple weeks early. I think one more week, most likely, until we see him back on the field. Jair can't catch. That's his only negative. Yeah, he needs to put a few more away, no doubt about it. Wade Phillips is out there. I hear you, man. Wade Phillips is always the one, right? But hey, if McVay moved on from Wade Phillips, is Wade Phillips getting a ringing endorsement when Matt LaFleur calls McVay and says, how's Wade Phillips as a defensive coordinator? I don't know. Chuck it. Thanks for the super chat. I feel if we had Corey on the sideline, he'd keep them hyped. You better believe it. No doubt about it. Does Martin give us a boost, or would it be a small boost given he's a rookie? I mean, he can't hurt at this point. I like his physicality and what we saw in the summer. You never really know how guys are going to look coming back from an injury, but he absolutely, I think, would add something to the defense as far as not only physical style of play, but a sideline-to-sideline presence. I mean, he's not going to give you what Tampa has, but a few guys are, but he would certainly help, no doubt about it. I love Pettin, but watching a Dan Quinn defense makes me wonder what a defense with talent like ours could do under Quinn. It's a possibility. You talk about histories and relationships, and heard LaFleur talk glowingly about his time with Dan there in Atlanta. So can't completely dismiss it. It's definitely a possibility. Joe, thoughts on safety play? Not enough big plays, and not taking advantage of the plays that are there. You saw that interception go right through Adrian Amos's hands. I think Savage has been fine, but you moved up in the first round for something more than fine, I would have thought. It's disconcerting to see Amos getting beat by 1,000-year-old tight ends who were wrestlers last year. Yeah, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. I mean, it's good. There's talent there, and I think they make plays when they are presented for the most part. There's no difference making there, though. There's no aggressiveness that is like truly kind of popping off the screen. They need more from that position across the board. Why did losing Swerve seem to cripple our offense's ability to run motion? I don't think it did. I don't understand where people are getting this from. I keep seeing this here on the chat and on Twitter, and I don't see it. I didn't see it during the game, and I don't see it on the replay. They ran motion a ton. They used Aaron Jones as the motion guy and then Jamal Williams as the traditional back. And when they actually gave it to Jamal, it kind of worked. And the fact that they, quote unquote, got away from it is no different than every other game this year. They've gotten away from it every game. And that's why I asked Matt about it on Transplants, about the fact that they often use motion early in the game. And other than the Minnesota game, they never stick with it. So I don't see how they lost the use of motion as a real kind of narrative out of this game. I don't see it. They utilized it a lot early on. And I thought it was smart to use Aaron Jones in that capacity. They just didn't ever want to go against the A gap for whatever reason. It's going to drive me insane to my grave. All right, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out, talking Packers with me on this Tuesday. Please do me a favor and hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you're so inclined, please consider giving us $5 a month on our Patreon page, patreon.com/cheeseheadtv. It really helps support everything we do, including Packer Transplants, which is coming back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, right here on the social channels. I hope you'll check that out. It also helps support 5+ hours of live streaming each and every game day. Corey and I watching the game. It's always a ton of fun. Thanks for those of you who joined us. If you haven't yet, come on by. It's a lot of fun every single game. Some games more fun than others, if you know what I mean. But hey, if you can't give us support on Patreon, I totally understand. But please do hit like, hit subscribe, and then tell your friends, tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day.